Rebound, Wesley Johnson. Pounding the three for sure. Williams with the bingo!
My next guest is a former NC State Wolfpack guard, current NBA guard, and in my opinion, one of the hardest workers that I have seen that brings his hard hat to work every day, Mr. CJ Williams. What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. Just getting back to work, getting ready for the season.
Okay. Now I wanna jump right into it. Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's where you come from.
Yep.
Jack Britt High School.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that experience. Now, you were a two-sport athlete in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, football was always something that I really loved playing. So, and my dad was a football player, so I kind of wanted to be like my dad.
Okay.
So, growing up, I always played football. I was really good. I was getting looks for college and everything, but I wasn't getting any offers right away. It was basketball that I first got my offers in.
Okay.
So by the end of my sophomore year, my dad kind of said to me, he said, "Look, I know you love football, but you got to think, basketball is giving you the offers right now. You're gonna have a longer career in basketball." So I was like, you know what? I might have to give football up. So I stopped playing after my sophomore year, and a lot of people at my school didn't like it. They didn't like it too much. It was it was pretty tough, but football is always something I pay attention. I watch it. I love it. I wish I could still play and everything like that, but when I started getting the offers in basketball, I just had to let it go.
Okay. So, what position when you played football? I mean, when you were in high school?
I was a pocket passer. I was a pocket passing quarterback.
Okay.
I was not running.
Okay.
I was not running right. It's funny because a lot of times when I would go and talk to these basketball coaches, they say, "Oh, well, we see you play football," and they were like, "Well, you play quarterback, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they was like, "How's your offensive line?" And I was like, "Not that great."
Okay.
And so a lot of them, it caused some concern for them, but for the most part, it was one of those things that I figured out that I loved football, but I loved getting better at basketball more.
Okay.
So I would enjoy practice more in basketball than I would in football.
Okay. So, how did you end up at NC State?
Well, I actually grew up. A lot of people aren't going to like to hear this.
I already know what you're gonna say, man.
I grew up a Carolina fan. I grew up a Carolina fan. I always loved Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And it was one of those things that I wanted to be like Mike. And so I loved Carolina. I did. And then I started going through the process, and I told myself I was not going to let my love for Carolina become a problem for my recruitment. And so I just, I left it open. And by my junior year, I had gone through the process my freshman, my sophomore, my junior year. Coaches sending letters, talking to my coach because they couldn't talk to me directly. Talking to my coach, and then I would go on these visits and stuff like that. And I kind of went to my dad and I was like, "Dad, I'm tired. I don't want to go on recruitment trips anymore. I want to be a high school kid. I want to get in the gym and get better. I want to, hang out with my friends when I get the chance to and stuff like that." And so it was one of those things where I ended my recruitment early and I committed as a junior. And it's funny because I'm a low key kind of guy. I don't need publicity. I love the game of basketball. Yeah, it gives me some fame or whatever, but that's not why I'm in it.
Okay.
And so I was like the second ranked player in the state of North Carolina behind Todd Walker. And Dave Tellep tells me, he's like, you need to have a press conference. I'm like, Dave, I don't want to do all that, man.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you go tell everybody else. He's like, no, you the second best player in the state. You need to have a press conference. I was like, all right, fine. So I had a whole press conference, and it came down to State, Clemson, and Virginia Tech. And it was a tough decision, but the thing that made me stay was that my mom was an NC State like fan, not die hard like she is now, but she was a fan of the school, and so you know, I wanted to. Obviously, I wanted to make her happy, so I was like, you know what, Mom, like, you know, it really didn't matter to me which of those 3 schools I went to, so I just chose NC State because 1, you know, my mom liked it, but then 2, it was an hour from home. Yeah. So anytime my parents wanted to come to a game, they got the chance.
Yeah. So you didn't get recruited by Carolina at all?
They came in really late and asked for me to not commit right away, but I was like, nah, I have to get this over with.
Okay. So once you got to NC State, how was it? I mean, how did you feel? Because when you go to a school like NC State, the ACC, that's pretty much the biggest stage in college basketball, the ACC and the Big East. Yeah. How was that for you?
It was a little bit of a shock right away. I ended up actually starting my first few games as a freshman, and I was kind of in shock, and I was, you know, I played a little timid, and that's why I fell out of the lineup. But I think I needed that because I grown up playing in Fayetteville. You know, no knock to anybody else that was in Fayetteville, but I was always like one of the best players in the city. So like when I come to a game, I could be goofing off, like just playing around, and still have like a good 15 to 20. But every night in the ACC, it doesn't matter who you play, you have to have your heart at. You have to come with your best performance for that night in order to win. And that's what it taught me right away. And learning how to balance using your talent and playing hard while also staying within the system of your team. That's where it was like one of the biggest like shocks to me. Yeah. Because I had to use my talent in the system, but my talent may not necessarily have fit the system that I was in. Okay. And so, you know, I figured out my way a little bit, and then it was just up and down from there.
Who would you say your toughest opponent?
One-on-one, or are we talking like team? Like, because my freshman year, Carolina won the championship. My sophomore year, Duke won. So like, I played against 2 national champions. Right. Back to back.
Well, player, like individual player, like that you had to go head to head against.
It's not even a question. He gave me 40, and I hate to admit it. I was a freshman, and I guarded Steph. Okay. I guarded Steph when he was at Davidson. And,
but no, the ACC though. In the ACC.
In the ACC. That's tough because there were so many good players. Like my freshman year, that was the year they won the championship. Tyler Hansborough, Tyler Lawson, Ellington, Danny Green, and all those guys. You know what? Actually, Tyrese Rice.
Okay.
Tyrese Rice from Boston College.
Boston College,
yeah. He was, man. Trying to guard him was something else. Like, and he just had a knack for finding a way, because he was short. He had a knack for finding a way to create space. Okay. And it was just one of those things, like, you know, you could guard him as good as you want to, and he gets just a little bit of space, and he's open. And he just shoots it, and it goes in. Okay. So, yeah, Tyrese was probably definitely the toughest guard I had.
Now, I watched you play while you were at NC State, and you, I would say you had a decent career at NC State. And what I want you to talk about is basically for young kids to kind of hear this story. Tell everybody your senior year at NC State, how many points you averaged?
Senior year, I averaged 10 points a game. Okay. My first 3 years, I averaged right around 3. Okay. And Coach Lowe, unfortunately, resigned, and so we got a new coach, Mark Godfrey, and he came in. And when he came in, you know, I actually sat down and talked with him. And I said, "Hey, like, am I going to be a part of this? Like, are you? I know I'm a senior, but are you trying to win right now? Because I haven't been to the NCAA tournament, and that's where I want to go." And I said, "I don't care how we get there. I don't care who's like. I just need to know that I'm a part of what you want to do." And it's funny because we had just played like pickup, and he was watching or whatever, and he looks down in a book, And in the book, it was like our stats from the previous years and stuff. And so he says, CJ, I see right here that you made 6 threes all your junior year. I said, yeah. He goes, I just watched you make 9 in pickup. He said, what happened? I said, well, Coach, I'm going to be honest. Like, I lack confidence. I'm not going to have that anymore. I'm not going to have that problem. I put the work in, so I'm going to trust it.
Okay.
And, but I need to know, are you trying to win right now? He said, CJ, I don't ever go anywhere without the intention to win. And I said, okay. And he tells me all I have to do is play defense, and he won't say a word to me about offense because he sees that I have the basketball IQ to take the right shots and stuff. And so I built that trust with him, and he actually never said anything to me about offense. The only time he said anything was if I asked him to play.
Okay.
And so basically I just, my senior year, I just worked my tail off. I just stayed in the gym, constantly worked on stuff. And the way I like to work out in game situations. So I like to do stuff that I'm going to do in the game. So let's say I get a certain system. I practice on the shots that I'm going to be able to take in that system. Yeah, I practice some, one-on-one shots and stuff like that. You have to. But most of my workout is, okay, this is a part of a play, and this is a part that I can get a shot on. Let me practice it. Let me shoot 20 of these. Okay, this is a different one. Let me shoot 20 of these. So that's kind of how I ended up getting a nice little rhythm going into my senior year. And from there, it just kind of took off. Coach trusted me. Lorenzo and I actually averaged the most minutes per game in the ACC that year.
Okay.
He was at 35.4. I was at 35.3.
Okay. So stay with me on. I'm going somewhere with this whole situation. 10 points a game, right? Your senior year at NC State. When did you think about playing professionally, whether it was in Europe or whether it was in the NBA? Because if you remember, and I'm sure you remember, I took you to the Portsmouth Invitational. You weren't invited, but you went up there to see these other guys that you had played against in college. So when did you know, okay, I want to do this for a living?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know until I started getting calls from agents. After my senior year, I really didn't think that, if I'm honest, I really didn't think I was good enough to play professionally. And I didn't know much about Europe, so I didn't know that, if you play at a decent level or and you're pretty good, you can find a way to get over there. And I didn't know that. And so I just assumed, like, you know what, I gotta get a job. Like, I was actually making my resume. And everything. And I just graduated with a degree in HR, and I was going for that. So I didn't know until I started receiving calls, and my agent Jamie Knox actually called me, and he was kind of like, you want to do this? And I was like, you know what, I actually do. I don't believe I was put on this earth for anything else other than to play basketball and inspire young kids.
Yeah. Now your first pro job was in Cyprus, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about that experience, playing in Cyprus, which is probably maybe mid-level, maybe low mid-level. Job in Europe. Talk about that experience.
The one thing that was very appealing about the job in Cyprus is the fact that they played in the Euro Challenge that year.
Okay.
So when I went there, we were playing in the Euro Challenge, and we were actually a part of what they called the Group of Death. We didn't belong in the Euro Challenge that year. We actually didn't. We actually, and this is not an exaggeration, we lost every game by 50.
Wow.
Yeah. And but it was a great experience because I saw some guys that I recognized from college. Like I know we played against a Turkish team, Karşıyaka, and they had John Diebler. That's who I recognized from their team. And they had Bobby Dixon. They had a lot of good players. But the experience in Cyprus was really good for me because I ended up being like top 10 in the league in scoring. And it showed, and it like, that's when it really kind of kicked in. Like, I can play professional basketball. Like,
right.
I belong in professional basketball. And it was one of those things that my confidence just went up from there, and it just continued to start going up, ascending throughout the rest of my career.
Right. And this is not the NBA. This is not first class hotels, flights, none of this.
No, this is you have a roommate. You know, you share a 2-bedroom apartment. They call them flats, but you share a 2-bedroom apartment where it's basically just 2 bedrooms in the main area, and that's it.
Yeah. So did that whole experience, because you played in some pretty good countries over in Europe, but playing in Cyprus, coming from what I like to say the best conference in America, coming from that situation and going to playing in Cyprus, did that humble you? Did it motivate you? I mean, what did that do for you?
I would say it was more motivation. It was more motivation because it made me think, you know, why should I be the one living this way while they're living that way? And I'm just as good as them. So I should get the same thing that they get, or better, whatever it may be. And so it motivated me to just keep working and everything like that. And it was one of those things where you realize where you are and where you can be, and you just start working for that.
Okay. And that opportunity in Cyprus led to, of course, to some other opportunities in Europe, such as Italy, France. When did you start thinking about giving the NBA a shot?
It was it's funny. I was watching the draft. It was after France, and I was watching the draft. And you know, my agent and I, Jamie and I, we always talk during the draft and stuff. Talk about players because we love basketball. And I had told him before, I had played summer league a couple times and stuff like that. And I told him, and I specifically told him, I said, Jamie, I don't want to play summer league this year unless it's San Antonio. Like, San Antonio would be the only team that I would go to summer league with. So we're on the phone, and we're talking about the draft. The draft just ends, and he's like, so we're talking about the players and stuff. And he says, oh yeah, by the way, pack your bags, you're going to San Antonio. And hung up the phone. So I was like, what? And so I called him back, and I'm like, Jamie, what did you say? He said, oh yeah, I meant to tell you, you're playing summer league with San Antonio. And that's when I knew it was destined for me to get to the NBA. Like, I had to work my butt off until I got to the NBA. So I packed my bags, went to San Antonio, and basically the rest just kind of happened.
Yeah, because and you've had some stops in the G League, and it seems like since you had that first opportunity, I don't know if it was in the G League or if it was a training camp in the NBA, but you haven't looked back. I don't even know if you touched European soil since.
I really haven't.
You haven't.
I haven't. The last time I was in Europe was when I played in France.
Okay, but so how was that feeling though? Just having that opportunity, because I mean, most kids who grow up playing basketball, they want to play in the NBA. So when you got your first call up, how was that feeling?
So when I first got my call up, and I was with LA. You know, I was on the two-way deal, so I had seen a couple of the games, like from the bench and in the back and stuff. And then the first time I actually touched the court when I was called up was against Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And it was Paul George playing. Paul George is my favorite player in the NBA.
Okay.
It's just my personal style and what I like to watch. He's to me, he's easily one of the best. And it's funny because it's like 6 seconds left in the first half, and Doc said, CJ, come on, go in the game. So I go in, and he's like, you got to get Paul.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get the ball, and I actually made a mistake. I didn't reach for a pass, but I leaned to it. And as soon as he caught it, he just goes.
Yeah.
And so then when he goes, I try to chase him down, And then we left, I think it was Alex Abrinas open. So he passes it to Alex Abrinas. Alex Abrinas shoots it and misses. And so we go into the half, and I'm like, oh crap, I almost messed up. So we're walking in the back, Doc does his talk, and I'm walking back out, and I'm actually walking out with DeAndre. And Doc goes, CJ. And we didn't know who he called, so we turned around and looked. And he was like, no, I said CJ. And then DJ keeps walking, and then he goes, I might need you to go in and stop Paul because he's on the road. I was thinking in my head, Paul has 25 points on 10 shots. How am I going to stop it? How am I going to stop that? But then I was like, you know what? Like that's what I'm here for. That's what they want me for. So I actually ended up not playing anymore that game. But it kind of like threw me for a loop. Like, oh, this is the NBA. Like, I could be called at any moment to just go in and I have to do my job. Right.
So you've pretty much made a name for yourself. Around the NBA circles. Like I said, I don't think you've touched European soil since your first job in the NBA. What is the difference playing in Europe versus playing in the NBA? Of course, the talent. That's the biggest difference. But just the game, the game in itself.
If I'm actually honest, the talent level is not. Like, there's not that big of a margin between Europe and the NBA now. Individually, you have, I always say there's tiers in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So you have your top tier guys, your superstars, Kevin Durant, LeBron, James, Steph, all those guys. And then you have the mid-tier guys, which are like the all-stars, but they're not quite the superstars. So, for instance, in my opinion, the Chris Middletons, the Kembas, those kind of guys. And then the rest of the NBA really is kind of a fringe. And it's like one of those things where, you could kind of take some guy out and put another guy from Europe in, and it'll be pretty much the same. Right. As long as they have the same style of play.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest difference for me was, I'm a family guy, and just being able to be home in the States where my family can kind of take a weekend trip if they want to.
Yeah.
Or if they, if I'm close to them, they just come to the game. In Europe, we had to plan it months ahead in order for them to come over for a week or two, and then they go back. And then I'm by myself for the rest of it.
Okay.
So that was definitely one of the things that played a big part in me deciding to just continue to give the NBA a shot.
Okay. I think that one of the things that me in particular that I admire about you is that every opportunity that you've gotten in the NBA, you've taken advantage of it. You've shown that you belong in the NBA. I think the last when you played with the when you got hurt when you was with the Clippers, and I think it was the Golden State Warriors game. I think you were on a roll too.
I was on a roll. I had 10 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
I remember.
And then you came. I don't know if you came down on somebody's foot.
Yeah, I ended up landing. I went up for a shot, and I ended up landing on DeAndre's foot. And it turned my ankle, and I had a high ankle sprain, so I was out for like a month. And then it was tough coming back from that.
Yeah. So, and that situation, how frustrating is it to continue to have to prove yourself to get that break, that deal to where, okay, you know what, I'm good now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things. If you know you're meant to do something, you don't have a problem if you have to prove yourself over and over again. And I know I was meant to play in the NBA. I've clearly seen I've had success the time that I've been in the NBA. I've seen everything basketball-wise, from Europe to the G League. I played at every level.
Right.
So I'm not worried about proving myself. I actually had a talk with Jamie, my agent, and I told him, I was like, hey, I don't mind having to prove myself again. It's just literally just par for the course at this point.
Yeah.
And so I don't worry about that. What I worry about is making sure I'm in tip-top shape or the best shape I could possibly be in at that moment to be able to play at a high level.
Yeah. Just being ready. And that goes back to what I wanted to what we touched on earlier in terms of you averaged 10 points your senior season at NC State. You started off in Cyprus, which is not high level Europe. And now you're on NBA rosters. For kids, looking at someone as yourself, what do you say? I mean, what does that speak to in your opinion?
Hard work and dedication. It sounds cliche, but it's cliche for a reason. It's something that we all guys in the NBA, we've had to sacrifice certain things. Sometimes we have to sacrifice a social life.
Yep.
You can't necessarily be with your friends all the time because you got to go work on your game. And so that dedication and that hard work that you put in every day, because you have to do. I'm a true believer in you don't have to. Maybe you don't work out every day. You got to let your body rest and recover sometimes. But you have to do something every day. Whether it's study film, whether it's maybe instead of going to the gym and doing a hard workout, you go and you just do form shooting and do a couple spots, and then just keep the rhythm going. You have to do something every day.
Okay.
And so I just believe that my hard work and my faith in myself has put me in a position to where I'm achieving things that nobody would have seen coming.
Right.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But not everybody saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I feel like you're that story that a lot of kids need to see. They need to see where you started from 3 points, 10 points a game. That's not a lot in the ACC. That'll get you a job in Europe, but it won't get you a high level job in Europe.
Right.
Right. From there to Europe to the G League, and now a bona fide NBA player. That's the story. That's the story that most kids need to see.
Yeah, because we have to understand that not everybody's path is the same.
Right.
That's a common phrase in the NBA. Is not everybody's path the same.
Right.
Some people, they get you have the Zions where they're just crowned from the age of 12.
Yeah. Different animal.
Yeah, it's a different beast, and but you have to understand that's not the only way to get there.
Right.
That's not the only way to get to be able to have that Jerry West logo on your chest.
Yep.
There's other ways to do it, and all you have to do is stay dedicated to it, stay true to the game, and everything's gonna work out.
Okay, I want to switch gears for 1 second, CJ. I want to get your opinion on this, because I know it's been a hot topic around the NBA. This medical marijuana thing with NBA players in terms of with injuries, reducing pain. What do you think about that topic? And is it a big thing in the locker room?
In the locker room, not really. Not many people talk about it. We've heard things about it and stuff like that. I personally, I've never done that before. So,
okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really a great person to talk about that because I haven't been in that situation where I felt that I needed something like that.
Right.
I've knock on wood, I've been a pretty healthy guy for the most part.
Okay.
I missed that 1 month, but other than that, I haven't had any real serious injuries or anything where I felt that I needed some type of supplement to ease the pain or anything like that. But I mean, if I had to give an opinion about it, I would say that I don't see any problem with it. For people that would want to use that as long as it's something that doesn't harm or affect your game in some type of way, as long as it's not like an enhancer,
right,
or anything like that. I think that it would be like one of those things. All right, the guy uses medical marijuana.
Okay. All right. I gotta ask you this. Up close and personal, where is Steph Curry's range Like, because
as soon as he walks into the arena from the loading dock, that's
it looks effortless though, is it?
It is effortless. You know, when you see him shoot it, it's just, man, it's pure. You can tell he worked on his game all his life. Like it's just he was destined to be a shooter like he is. And he's changed the game. He's changed the game. We all now look at the 3-point line completely differently. Like if you look at just the numbers purely, we shoot more threes now than we do twos.
Okay. Yeah. It's true. That's true.
It's amazing.
That's true.
Like every day I watch the game and I'll see certain things and I'll be like, we never would have done that 10, 15 years ago. Okay. Like the mid-range pull-up is out of the game. Like nobody wants to shoot it anymore.
Even the bank shot.
Even the bank shot, like nobody wants to shoot that anymore. It's either threes or layups.
Yep.
And I mean, I think it's okay for the game. I think it does challenge the game a little bit because it makes some people have to feel like they have to do certain things. But you know, that's a part of the game. Probably before we all thought we had to be able to play in the mid post when Michael Jordan and Jamal Mashburn and those guys were doing it all the time. Yeah. So we all made our game into the mid post. Then when LeBron came into we got to be a tall kind of point guard-ish small forward. So you know, I mean, the game always changes to who the best in the game, like how they play. So you know, the fact that Steph uses the 3-point line the way he does, it's amazing and it's changed the whole game.
Definitely difficult to guard. I'm sure.
Yes.
Last question, man. In your opinion, is there an oversaturation of skill development trainers? Because
my biggest issue with these trainers, man, is I'm all about game situation. Am I going to use this in the game? Like, am I going to have two? Like, I understand the point of two ball dribbling, but like, am I ever going to have two basketballs in my hand when I'm on the court? Like, I get it. It's to get your coordination, your hand-eye coordination, get a good feel for the ball, be able to handle it. That's all well and good, but standing on a Bosu ball, some of these trainers, man, they just do too much to me, and you know, for guys that maybe they play that way, you know, maybe the Kyries, the Kembas, those guys, maybe that's good for them. Maybe they need that, but I'm a catch and shoot 3-and-D kind of guy. Like, I need to work on what I'm going to be able to do in the game. Use the pick and roll every now and then. Be able to play pick and roll. Be able to catch and shoot. Be able to defend. That's what I work on in the summer.
All right, man. That's good stuff, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. What's next for you?
Just being a free agent. I'm just waiting around for the call. Haven't really gotten any serious calls yet. We're gonna see. Just staying, but like I said, staying ready. Staying ready so I don't have to get ready.
In that work.
Yep, exactly.
All right, this is Sports Talk with Player Agent 3. My man CJ Williams.